Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are starting 5.2 Gravity and Satellites from the Cambridge Primary Science Learners Book 5. Let's explore how gravity works and how artificial satellites stay in space. 5.2 Gravity and Satellites Introduction. Getting started. This photograph shows a tropical cyclone near the coast of Australia. It was taken by a satellite that was made by people and put into space. Question number 1. What is a satellite? A satellite is an object that orbits around a planet or another celestial body. Question number 2. Explain why the moon is a natural satellite. The moon is a natural satellite because it orbits Earth without being man made. How much gravity? All objects exert gravity. When there are two objects, they exert gravity on each other. The amount of gravity an object has depends on size. The larger the object, the greater the force of gravity. Gravity works on a distance, so the amount of gravity also depends on how close the objects are. The closer the objects are, the stronger the forces of gravity between them. We are going to look at satellites as an example of this. Satellites. In space, a body which orbits a larger body is called a satellite. The moon is a natural satellite of the Earth. The moon and the Earth are attracted towards each other by gravity. The Earth is larger than the moon, so the Earth exerts a greater force of gravity on the moon than the moon exerts on the Earth. Look at this model of the moon orbiting the Earth. Orbit of the moon around Earth, pull of the Earth, pull of the moon, path the moon would naturally take if gravity doesn't exist. Point to the Earth, point to the moon, point to the moon's orbit around the Earth. Find the green arrow. The green arrow shows the force of gravity the moon exerts on the Earth. Remember, gravity is a pulling force, so the moon is pulling the Earth. That is why the arrow points towards the moon. Find the red arrow. The red arrow shows the force of gravity the Earth exerts on the moon. Artificial satellites. Scientists have used what they know about natural satellites to design and make satellites. These satellites are called artificial satellites. There are many artificial satellites which orbit the Earth. Artificial satellites have a positive effect on our lives and environment. For example, some of the satellites continuously take photographs which help to make weather predictions. Other satellites provide TV signals and GPS used on ships, aeroplanes, and some cars. The International Space Station is an artificial satellite that has scientists living on it for years at a time. The scientists carry out investigations in space and use their findings back on Earth. How does an artificial satellite get into space? An artificial satellite is launched into space by powerful rockets. The satellite travels at an enormous speed to overcome the force of gravity, pulling it towards the center of the Earth. Then, at a certain distance above the Earth, it keeps moving at the same speed in an orbit around the Earth. Gravity pulls the satellite towards the center of the Earth and keeps it in orbit. Question answers. What is an artificial satellite? A human made object placed into orbit around a celestial body. How does an artificial satellite manage to travel from Earth into space? It is launched by rockets overcoming Earth's gravity with thrust. How does an artificial satellite keep in orbit around Earth? It stays in orbit due to a balance between Earth's gravity and the satellite's forward velocity. Look at a photograph of the artificial satellite. What is providing the power to keep it moving? The power to keep the satellite moving in its orbit is provided by the gravitational force exerted by the Earth. Look at the satellite image at the beginning of this topic. It shows a tropical cyclone. Weather satellites track weather such as cyclones and send photographs to scientists on Earth. Why do you think it is useful to see these photographs? It is useful to see photographs of tropical cyclones taken by weather satellites because these images help scientists track the development, movement, and intensity of the cyclones. Do some research. Find an example of another Earth feature that satellite can photograph and send back to scientists on Earth. Satellites can photograph deforestation, allowing scientists to monitor changes in forest cover. That's all for today's lesson on gravity and satellite. Hope you found it useful. See you in the next video. Allah Hafiz.